Welcome to Euro Bangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. 28 Bangladeshi sailors who came under missile attack at Ukrainian port will return home from Romania tonight. Former LGRD Minister Khandakar Mosharraf Hossain's brother has been arrested in an over Dhaka 2,000 crore money laundering case. Women's Day today, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina attends the Women's Day celebration in Dubai. The 28 sailors of the Bangladeshi ship Bangla Samriddhi, who got stuck in the Ukrainian port of Olvia amid war, will return to Bangladesh on Wednesday. Bangladesh Merchant Marine Officers Association General Secretary Shakhawat Hossain said a flight carrying them will take off from Romanian capital Bucharest on Tuesday night. However, the official could not confirm the arrival time. The 28 stranded sailors reached the Romanian capital of Bucharest safely from Ukraine on Sunday. Earlier, a Bangladeshi sailor died in missile attack at Ukraine port. Faridpur police today arrested Khandakar Mohtasem Hossain Babar, brother of former Minister Khandakar Mosharraf Hossain, in a Dhaka 2,000 crore money laundering case. Officer in charge of Kotwali police station in Faridpur said he was arrested around 2 a.m. from a house at Dhaka's Boshundhara residential area. He also said they arrested Mohtasem at a court issued an arrest warrant against him. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina attended the Dubai Expo on International Women's Day. The Premier said government is working to empowering women. Bangladeshi women are getting opportunity in every job sector. However, on March 9, Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to hold talks separately with Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan and Mother of the Nation of UAE Sheikh Fatima bint Mubarak. In the last day of her visit on March 11, Sheikh Hasina would attend a civic reception to be hosted by expatriate Bangladeshi community. In this visit, 4 to 5 MOUs are likely to be signed between Bangladesh and UAE. On March 12, the Premier is scheduled to return home by a special flight of Biman Bangladesh Airlines BG 1302. The 36th Regional Conference for Asia and the Pacific of the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization began in Dhaka today. Bangladesh government convened the 4-day conference in hybrid modality with the participation from 46 member states in Asia and the Pacific. On the first day of the conference, agriculture secretaries and senior officials of the member states have discussed regional and global policy and regulatory matters at Hotel Intercontinental Dhaka. Different issues including the state of the food, agriculture in the region in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, actions to promote climate-resilient agricultural foods system were discussed on the first day. Indictment hearing against BNP chairperson Khaltazia in the NICO corruption case has been deferred to April 12. Judge Sheikh Hafizur Rahman said the day today at the temporary courtroom of the Dhaka Special Judges Court 9 at the Dhaka Central Jail in Keraniganj. Today was fixed for holding the indictment hearing in the case, but Khaltazia could not appear in the court because of her illness. The court had previously fixed March 8 to hold the indictment hearing against the BNP chief. International Women's Day today. March 8 is celebrated as the International Women's Day to celebrate the cultural, political and socio-economical achievements of women. This year, the theme for International Women's Day is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. The goal behind Women's Day is to spread the message of gender equality, celebrate the achievements and contributions of women. International Women's Day is being celebrated in different districts of the country through various programs. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina attends the Women's Day celebration in Dubai. Viewers are taking a short break. Stay with Euro Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back. You're watching Euro Bangla City SATV News. Now let's take a look at what's going on in the world. Senior Ukrainian officials at Ukraine's defense ministry call on West to provide weapons, aircraft to face a Russian invasion. It is said that the Russia's invasion of Ukraine was not going as Moscow and its leader Vladimir Putin had planned. Nevertheless, the ministry also warned that Ukraine needed help in the air, and the officials in Kyiv were still trying to convince the West that a no-flying zone was necessary. On the flip side, European and Western officials said President Putin anticipated that he would be able to take control of Kyiv and force its government to step down in exchange for one allied with him. One teenager died and another two were wounded outside their high school by shooting in the U.S. state on Monday. One of the victims died and the other two remain hospitalized, according to the police statement. It is noted that the gunfire appears to have come from a passing vehicle. Meanwhile, potential suspects have been detained, but no charges have been filed. The police statement did not say how many suspects have been arrested. A huge fire broke out at a 21-story residential and commercial building in the East London on Monday. More than 100 firefighters took over the 3 hours to bring under control the fire. 25 fire engines and 125 crews were deployed to Whitechapel High Street near the British capital's financial district. 60 people were forced to evacuate the building after the blaze broke out. There was no immediate indication as to what caused the fire, which saw debris fall onto the road below, forcing it to be cordoned off. The death toll from a week-long floods battering Australia's east coast rose to 20. The bodies of the man and the woman were discovered in floodwaters in Sydney on Tuesday. The National Weather Bureau warned of a tough 48 hours ahead for Sydney, with 60,000 people subject to evacuation orders and warnings across the affected areas, according to emergency services. Meanwhile, intense rainfall across Sydney flooded bridges, homes, swept away cars, and even collapsed the roof of a supermarket. Moreover, almost half of 5,000 flood-ravaged homes inspected in the region in the wake of the disaster are uninhabitable. Nearly 4,000 civilians have been killed in attacks in Afghanistan since the Taliban took over the country last year. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet said of the 397 civilians killed in the country, more than 80% were at the hands of the Islamic State. She underscored the scale of insurgency faced by the new government. While ISIS-K first appeared in eastern Afghanistan in late 2014, the group is thought to have spread further in the wake of the Taliban takeover and have been blamed for several suicide attacks in recent months, including one at Kabul airport last August. The latest report is the first major human rights report since the Taliban seized power and covers the period from August 2021 to the end of February 2022. The French army said Monday that its anti-jihadist force in Mali had killed Yahya Jouadi, a known senior leader of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, responsible for finance and logistics. Jouadi is an Algerian also known as Abu Amr al-Jazari, and he was killed overnight from February 25th to 26th, roughly 160 kilometers north of Timbuktu in central Mali. In its statement, the French army also noted that he was killed by ground forces supported by the Tiger attack, helicopter and 2 drones. Jouadi was known in the major link in northern Mali to the Al-Qaeda and has been known to organize the terrorist group while coordinating supplies, financing and logistics. Over in Egypt, a landmark moment in the country's judicial history on Sunday, a 98 woman took seats on the State Council. The appointment follows a presidential decree in October 2021, which resulted in the number of women taking an oath before the head of the State Council, ahead of being assigned to various circuit courts. While women have been practicing law in Egypt since the 1930s, none held any judicial positions until 2003, when the first female judge, Tahani El-Gabeli, was appointed the Constitutional Court. In 2021, the World Economic Forum ranked Egypt 129 on the global gender gap list, with the country having significantly closed its total gender gap and made progress in political empowerment, health and survival, as well as educational attainment. Now sports news. West Indies will take on England in the first test of the 3-match test series today. The match will start at Sir Viv Richardson Stadium at 8 p.m. Bangladesh time. England will play the first test after Ashes collapse. Two pacers of England's James Addison and Stuart Broad are not in the squad for the series. However, Caribbean coach Phil Simons has warned that young cricketers could not well in their place without Anderson and Broad. Meanwhile, opener Alex Lace is likely to make his test debut against the West Indies in the match. Mexico's top division football league suspended matches Sunday and may ban fans from attending in many matches after a massive brawl among supporters last Saturday. 17 people died and 26 injured after the brawl. The deadly unrest took place during a match between host Querétaro and Atlas, as the match was suspended in the 62nd minute after multiple fights broke out in the stands. State authorities in north-central Mexico have also suspended 5 officials, including police and civil defense employees, over the brawl. Shane Warne's funeral will be held in any day in the next 2 weeks. Warne's funeral will be held at Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia. After an autopsy on Monday, Thai police allowed Warne's family to return him to his native country. The funeral of the spin magician will be held at the historic Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia. About 1 lakh people will visit the MCG that day. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Victorian President Daniel Andrews will be also present. It is noted that the Great Southern Stand and the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia will be of the name of Warne. Before ending, we go to the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. 28 Bangladeshi sailors who came under missile attack at Ukrainian port will return home from Romania today. Former LGRD Minister Khandaka Musharraf Hussein's brother has been arrested in an over Dhaka 2,000 crore money laundering case. Women's Day today. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina attends the Women's Day celebration in Dubai. You're up to date so far here on Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satvtv.tv. Stay with SATV.